Welcome to Screen Junkies News. I am Roth Cornett, joined by Mr. Dan Merle.
Hello, hello.
Hello. We're here to talk about big news this week. For movie lovers everywhere, it seems like Christmas morning, maybe, in that there's this massive deal, MoviePass.
MoviePass. It's been around for a while,
yes.
But it's been, I think they themselves would say, it's been a very kind of a niche product.
It hasn't been hugely successful. So the basic structure of MoviePass is you pay a monthly fee, and you can go see a movie a day for that fee. It was $50 at a certain point, and the price has fluctuated a bit. It is now $9.95 per month.
Yeah.
$9.95 per month.
One movie per day.
Yes.
In the theater for $10 a month.
Exactly.
Which sounds
amazing.
like it's too good to be true.
Doesn't that sound amazing? It sounds like it's almost too good to be true,
It does sound
Dan.
like it's almost too good to be true. That's what we're going to get into here.
Yeah. So the deal with this is that the company is run by the Netflix co-founder, former president of Redbox, Mitch Lowe, right? So Mitch Lowe says they want to be a disruptor in the industry, change the game like Netflix did. AMC Theaters response was not so happy.
No.
Let's talk about what they had to say.
Sure. Well, I mean, just to kind of break down what MoviePass is in case people don't know, it's an app on your phone. You basically have to be near a theater within 100 yards of a theater. You select what movie you want to go to. You say, I want to see Spider-Man Homecoming at 3 o'clock. You select it. You have a debit card, basically, and you tell the app what movie you want to go see. It puts the price of a ticket, the full price of a ticket. So the $9.95 a month covers your service. If the ticket costs $12, like it does in a lot of places here in LA, that's what the app pays out. So you pay $10 a month. The app will pay for your $12 AMC ticket. You go up to the window. You say, I want one for Spider-Man Homecoming. You give them the debit card. They swipe it. You go to the movie.
So ostensibly speaking, the company could have lost money on the very first purchase. Now, there are limits to this.
Yeah.
It's not at a premium theater like the ArcLight here in Hollywood.
ArcLight does not recognize it. No 3D. You still have to pay that upcharge if you want to go to the premium experiences.
But you just have to pay the extra.
Yeah, you have to pay the extra. You have to pay the up convert fee, the 3 or 4, however many extra dollars. Now AMC, you would think, would respond positively to this because the average ticket price right now for AMC theaters alone is $9.33. That's the average AMC theater ticket price. So
where are these AMCs?
MoviePass costs, let's do a little math. MoviePass costs $9.95 a month. If you're going to see a movie at an AMC theater, MoviePass is paying AMC an average of $9.33 a ticket. So by the numbers, if you go see 2 movies a month, your MoviePass is losing money. And
AMC, and this is where we want to be really clear, AMC is still making the exact same amount of money because what MoviePass basically is legal scalping.
It's a middleman.
Yeah. They pay the full price for the tickets that the theater charges.
Right.
And but the consumer, the customer who has MoviePass does not.
Pays a monthly fee of $10.
Pays a monthly fee of $10. So the company that is actually losing money in this scenario is MoviePass.
Yeah.
It is not AMC.
Yeah, AMC is not, that lower price is not being passed on to AMC. They're making exactly as much money as they would if you just walked up and bought the ticket yourself, which I think why a lot of people are saying, like, why is AMC reacting so negatively to this? I think there are some reasons behind that.
I think there are certain too. And here's what they've come out to say. They basically, the crux of it is we don't yet know how to turn lead into gold, which was an actual quote from their statement, which I thought was very well put. And I think their overall point is, hey, look, sure, first of all, they're going to look for legal recourse to get out of this, but I don't think they're going to be able to because it's not illegal to scalp movie tickets.
And it's hard to prove harm. I mean, even if you're in a court of law, and I think a lot of people are saying, for example, scalping a ticket to a football game or a concert, the way that usually works is some middleman will come in and they'll pay the $135 upfront fee, the ticket price, and then they'll charge you $300 for it. So you can go to court and say, hey, this company is buying these tickets and they are profiting off of the sale of these to a third party. Those are profits that I'm entitled to. So, and I think that's a legal case. Yeah. This is the opposite. This would be like somebody going and buying a concert ticket for $50 but you have a pass for $10 a month that lets you get as many concerts. So it's like, here's this $50 concert ticket for $10.
Yeah, great.
If you go to court, the judge is going to be like, is it illegal to lose money in this country? So I think that's going to be it's like, where's the harm to AMC? And I think it's all potential, which is what AMC is basically saying.
Exactly. Here's the potential harm that they think the threat of this is that over time, and they say that this service is going to be available at this price for a full year.
Yeah.
So over time, the consumer will get used to an insustainable
business
price point for going to the movies.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, we go to AMC and they're like, wait a minute, why do I have to pay $13 for every single movie I see when I saw, through MoviePass, I saw 10 in a month for $10.
Right.
They think their business, and they do have reason to be concerned. Their market value plummeted 35% this month.
Well, because people have stopped going to the movies.
Yeah,
this is the worst summer box office in a decade or more by the percentages. And yeah, this is essentially... the AMC's point is this is an unsustainable business model.
Yes.
This is built off of you doing repeat business at the movies. The way this is modeled is if you take advantage of this at the minimum level, which is seeing 2 movies a month, this company is going to lose money. So what they're saying is like, in its current form, this company is going to lose money and it's going to go bankrupt. In the interim, people are going to get so used to this that imagine if Netflix and Blockbuster, when they were going head to head, Netflix unlimited DVD rentals for $10 a month. And then you have Blockbuster, which is the rental fee per disc. It's $7 a disc, $7 a disc. Imagine if Netflix had gone out of business after a year and it had been massively successful to the level that it is now, and people had gotten used to paying $10 a month to rent as many movies as they want. Don't you think everyone then would have gone to Blockbuster, the established chain, and said, hey, I was just doing this at Netflix. You let me rent as many movies as I did for $10 a month. Why do I have to pay you $7 per disc? Yeah. That's what AMC is worried about.
And I would also say this, is that it's a different thing because what this was not legal, Napster.
Right.
But it totally, entirely changed the face of music.
Yeah.
It changed the face of how people purchase music, if they purchase music. And it did create, among other things, other shifts in terms of the technology, a sense that there was an entitlement for things to be incredibly cheap or free, and they can't be produced for incredibly cheap or free. And they damage that industry just in countless ways.
The music industry was crippled by Napster.
Crippled.
I mean, the idea of paying for a song was not a thing until you could just go on Napster. Why download the album? You can download one song. Yeah. And that's iTunes used to sell albums.
Now they
sell songs. And a lot of artists were like, I'm not going to sell a song. I'm going to sell my whole album. That's how it was. Well, guess what? Yeah. The business model dictated otherwise, and now we have the industry that we have today. So this is what AMC is worried about. MoviePass is going to destabilize the whole thing and be such a good deal that in their mind, it's when it inevitably fails that people are going to turn on the theater chains and say, why aren't you that cheap? Yeah. And that's a problem.
And AMC, among other theater chains, it's not just AMC, has reported losses. They're having a really difficult time keeping butts in seats. This is a larger problem in the industry, and their fear is this is going to be one more thing that becomes a death knell.
And they can't match that price.
They can never match that price.
Because they're right. It's not a sustainable business model.
It is not. So let's talk about what happened to promote them, to cause them to drop their price points so low, which is if it's $50 a month, and the truth is people get busy and maybe they can't, like you and me are crazy and we'll probably, like to me, I'm like, I'm going to see 4 movies probably this weekend, but most people may not be able to physically get there more than a couple times a month. Then they're actually making money off that, right?
Yeah, but they're gambling that's going to be the majority, which it's not probably going to be.
And it wasn't hugely successful. So here we go. They have just had a huge influx of cash from a company that is a data mining company.
Helios and Matheson Analytics Incorporated. They're the ones that have kind of floated them this. They've said, but this isn't a behind the scenes thing. They've publicly said, we took money from this company. They bought a majority stake, Helios and Matheson. They gave us a cash infusion, and we are using that cash infusion to subsidize this price cut, which they are acknowledging is... It's costing them money. Like, that's the other thing. It's not like the companies, MoviePass isn't hiding the fact that this is costing them money. They've been very upfront about the fact that, like, yes, this is absolutely costing us money. That's why we're taking all this cash from this company.
So they've basically agreed to give $27 million in total, right? And for that, in return, it is being speculated by GQ and Business Insider and a number of other outlets that what they're really after is data. And they're basically going to take that this is a business loss. They don't care about the price point of the ticket. What they're going to do is take the information and the data that they gather from how people are going to, what movies that they're going to see, and sell that data. Now, an example that GQ gave that's inaccurate is if you go see Annabelle several different times, then suddenly on your Instagram feed, you're going to get all of these ads for horror movies and weird dolls. Now, why that wouldn't necessarily work with this model is
That's
can't,
Google
I believe.
Trafficking. That's a whole cross-platform thing.
Well, you can't, I don't think you can go see the movies more than once.
You
with
can't.
MoviePass.
Yeah, with MoviePass, I don't, as it currently stands,
Yeah.
I don't think, or you couldn't go see movies more than once. But I actually think, just kind of looking at what this company is, that it might be an even bigger picture thing. Because if you look at this company, Helios and Matheson Analytics, their entire mission, what they sell themselves on, is it's predictive data analysis. Their website says they empower their clients to unlock the value of data. They merged with another company called Zone, which mapped out crime activity, and basically their whole goal behind that was to use that service, Zone, to predictively indicate where crime is most likely to occur.
Right. So you get an alert that
Right.
basically says,
You're in a high crime
you're a high
area."
crime area. Get out of there.
Or something.
Like, it
Yeah,
could be
or maybe they can provide that.
Yeah.
Provide that to police departments around the country. But basically, it's taking data, analyzing it, and saying, what can we glean from this data, and what is the most likely future scenario? And what better way to potentially break into the Hollywood, and this is pure speculation, but at a time when studios are starved for hits,
Yes.
and they don't know what an audience wants to go see a lot of times, and they're not sure, what better way to gather an immense amount of data about what people are actually going to see by geographic region, by time of day, by age, by gender,
ethnicity,
exactly,
everything.
Then to buy a company like MoviePass, where you provide them all of that information, that data goes to Helios and Matheson Analytics. They can compile that data,
And
do their
sell it
predictive
right back to
models,
the
and then go to
studios.
Warner Brothers and say, like, we have a full demographic analysis of everything that everyone using our service went to see, and I think that we can predict what will be a hit at what time of year. How much would you like to pay us for that?
And here's the other thing, to get even more specific with that, what people will want to see where.
Yes.
Do you know what so here, if you really extrapolate out, so I was only bringing up the Annabelle example to say, like, despite that that's probably not the best example of how they would sell this data or use this data, they will do that, because this is per Business Insider, that for Ted Farnsworth, the CEO of Helios and Matheson, the goal of financing MoviePass is, in fact, absolutely to collect data on viewing behaviors from a large base of moviegoers. So it doesn't just give you national trends, it gives you geographic trends, it gives you gender trends, it gives you every kind of trend that you would want. And that can maybe help you target, and this is another reason AMC may be nervous, how and where to distribute.
Exactly.
Who to distribute to. Should some things go on a VOD platform because we see that movie, people are more likely to go see that movie if they're paying a subscription rather than per ticket, you know?
It's a numbers game.
It's a total numbers game.
It is 100%. And I'm not trying to cast any kind of evil aspersion over this, but you know, I think it's important for people, and there's a lot of excitement over this MoviePass thing, and a lot of people saying it's too good to be true. I can't believe it's such a great deal. I'm going to go see 8 movies a month. I think it's important though for people to know this going in, to know the actual mechanics behind what is behind this move, where this money came from, and then potentially, because I'm sure you hit, I agree, I certainly do, to terms and conditions.
Well, you have to in
order to use it, and I think it's important for people to know who's behind all of these things.
And I will say, I went to their terms and conditions out of curiosity, because the thing is, Helios and Matheson, through this deal, will have a 51% stake, right?
They're the owners.
So
they have
are
majority
the owner.
stake.
Exactly, which means they own that information. And I looked at their like personal versus non-personal information clauses, and it is like some very fuzzy language about what they will or will not do with it. I encourage you to go look at it, and I'm curious if it'll change again now that this deal has gone through. In the long and short term, I, as a consumer, my initial reaction to this is I probably will see in a given weekend 3 or 4 movies.
Sure.
And this allows me to live my best life. You know, like it's affordable. Movies are too expensive. At a certain point, Hollywood and the consumer, not just here, but on TV and streaming and all these different platforms are going to have to meet. And it's going to have to be an affordable equation at the same time. In the long run, do you think that this is good or bad for the industry?
Here's what I think. This is a potentially, I mean, if this caught on like Netflix caught on, as far as the deal goes, in the short term, this has the potential, there's a lot of risk. This has the potential to change the way that people do business because it is a great deal. You can't deny it. If you use it twice, you're getting your money's worth. That is a fantastic deal. And I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of it. It is unsustainable. And I know that, you know, MoviePass has kind of said like, well, our plan for sustainability in the future is like, yes, we're going to lose money at first, but their hope is that, and I think this is a very Pollyanna sentiment, their hope is that this will spur attendance to go up so much that they can then go to the chains and negotiate, as they say, in a constructive manner, deals for the chains to cut them in on their additional profits and on their concession stand sales. So I think there's 2 possibilities with this. Number one, it is unsustainable as a business strategy, and it fails after a while. Number 2, it is wildly successful, and they leverage that success to go to theater chains. And I know they say in a constructive manner, but if this thing really catches on, they're going to have theater chains in a very bad negotiating position because they're going to have the power to say, well, guess what? Our customers love this deal. They want these prices to keep up, and we will either exclude you from the program or end this program if you don't cut us in on X% of these profits because we're bringing you these consumers, and without us, you lose them. Now, that's business. That is cutthroat business. Is that good for the movie industry? I don't know that it is because AMC is right. $10 a month for unlimited movies at a price point is not enough to sustain theater chains and studios.
It's just not.
It's just not. The theaters are not going to be able to provide that kind of deal on their own. So they're either going to watch this thing go down in flames, or if this thing is incredibly successful, I think these theater chains are going to be forced to cut MoviePass in on the profits because MoviePass will wield a lot of power. And is it power that they should wield? I don't know. It is certainly a very good deal, but I think it's also important for people to know that particularly with this buyout and this company that bought them out, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their own hearts.
No.
And you know, this is data that is going to be used by a firm to do predictive analysis on what you're going to go see. That happens all over the place. But it's important to go in with your eyes open on deals like this. I think this is the reason that AMC is so against this. This is potentially, I think, a bad deal for movie theater chains because they could find themselves in a very precarious position.
Well, here's the thing. I think, you're right. And the data mining happens. Look, we know this all the time already. Our data is already being mined everywhere, everywhere we go.
Everywhere.
Like I've said before, Amazon could basically create a life model decoy of me at this point, and they probably are. The amount of data and information that they have on me in terms of my reading habits and my shopping habits and my movie watching habits, they got it all because I do it all through Amazon Prime, you know? Sucker that I am, but look, they're getting our data anyway, but we do have to be aware that that's the goal here. That's what they want. Whether that's actually ultimately to the benefit or the detriment of the industry as a whole is yet to be revealed. It's data that would be harder for them to get because they wouldn't have the specificity of the individual purchaser. They will have so many
specific things.
Exactly. They will have so much information about who is purchasing the ticket, when they are going, what their habits are. It could relate to marketing. It could relate to distribution. It could relate to the amount of money they spend on an individual film. So many different things that it could relate to.
And it could really make them a lot of money because you can then start potentially a bid. I doubt they're going to take these to every studio and sell them for the exact equal amount of money. I think you can really start a bidding war between studios as to like who wants all of this really complex, very targeted demographic information
that you will have. And considering that they have guaranteed that this for a year, within 1 year they will have very expensive data available to sell. It's just, we're not saying that is what's going to happen. It's being speculated. We are speculating that that's what's going to happen.
This is pure speculation, but it's just, again, a company that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange doesn't take on another company with a losing business model for no reason at all. So do your own investigation. That's the most. Do your own investigation. Look into MoviePass. If you think it's a good deal for you, take advantage of it by all means. If that's going to work for you, you're not hurting right now. AMC, even though they want to pull out, they're still getting their full ticket price. They are getting the concessions. This is really this is an end game type thing, and MoviePass, if this catches on, could find itself wielding a lot of influence, but it is to the detriment of the theater chains if this really catches on.
And I will say that, the head of MoviePass, who again was the head of Netflix, said, hey, AMC is fighting this just the way Blockbuster did. And we know that he didn't say this, but we know what happened to Blockbuster. And the truth is that was going to happen one way or another. And they did not adapt fast enough for the changing market.
Not only didn't they adapt, Blockbuster passed.
Yeah.
Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix and passed, as AMC did a pilot program with MoviePass a few years ago. Yeah. And also, they were on the same side, and AMC said, I don't know if this is ultimately a great partnership. And is this the new wave? I don't know, but it's not going to be in a way like Netflix. Like, is it a better business model? It's not a better business model,
no.
But it could really cause some sea change in the industry.
I'm going to be looking forward to watching this, just like the streaming wars and how all this unfolds for us as just movie fans over time. And like I said, my final thought is at a certain point, the business and the consumer are going to have to find some middle ground here, because to me, on paper, it does look like a great deal. As someone that loves movies and loves this industry, I do wonder about it over time, because I want us to continue to have great films and to have the movie-going experience. You guys let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much, Dan, for breaking this down with me today.
This is my pleasure. I love doing these numbers, and I agree. This is going to be a really fascinating story to watch unfold and just see what happens from here, because maybe this is a blip on the radar.
Maybe not. Maybe it's a game changer. We will find out over time. And I agree. Yeah. So much fun talking with you about this. I hope you guys enjoy this too. Let us know what you think in the comments. You can tweet us at SJ News, at Roth Cornett, at Mr. Dan Merle.
At Merle Dan.
At Merle Dan. I did it wrong. I am so sorry, people. You can also subscribe and be nice to each other. Click here for more awesome Screen Junkies news and click the logo to subscribe.